helping the next generation in more ways than one. We visit the home on the range in Sentinel Butte, North Dakota. We've got the latest market recaps, upcoming horse sales, and introducing the FCA Quality Replacement Heifer Sale. We've got more information. Y'all know the next part. Crew, let's ranch it up. Good day, everyone, and thanks for riding with us on this all-new episode of the Ranch It Up Radio Show. I'm Jeff Tigger Earhart.
And I'm Rebecca Warner, a.k.a. Beck. A big thank you to our partners, the American Galvey Association, the Tri-State Livestock News, the Farmer and Rancher Exchange, and the Fence Post, the 67th Annual Home on the Range Champions Ride Saddle Bronc Match, Westway Feed Products, Medora Boot and Western Wear, Dakota Cowboy, Allied Genetic Resources, LivestockMarket.com, EquineMarket.com, AuctionTime.com, RFD TV, the Cowboy Channel, and Wrangler.
Cow Country News, you know, the cow stuff.
A resolution supporting checkoff programs funded by mandatory contributions from farmers, ranchers, and meat processors was introduced in the U.S. House late last week. The lawmakers' resolution comes in the wake of proposed legislation to reform the federal beef checkoff program, which critics contend promotes corporate interests over individual ranchers and farmers. Supporters say the checkoff helps give producers access to marketplaces and research. The National Cattlemen's Beef Association stated that every time cattle are sold in the United States, $1 from the sale goes to the support of the beef checkoff. These investments are collected by the Cattlemen's Beef Board, the CBB, a producer-led organization overseen by the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Each year, industry organizations, research institutions, and land-grant universities develop proposals focused on strengthening beef demand through research, consumer education, marketing, and promotion efforts. The cattlemen and cattlewomen that volunteer their time to serve on the beef board, as appointed by the Secretary of Agriculture, determine which proposals to fund. The organizations that receive funding become contractors to the beef checkoff and undergo regular audits to ensure the fair use of producer dollars and compliance with the program. Other opponents question the use of the checkoff, stating that only a small percentage of the checkoff goes to the above mentions.
Recapping Superior Livestock Week in the Rockies sale, July 10th through the 14th, and these are rough prices. For more information, go to superiorlivestock.com to get specifics on your region. I just kind of grouped all of these together. And for the steers, here's what I got for you. 4 to 5 weight steers, the Week in the Rockies sale. Ready for this? Everybody sit down, write these prices down. 4 to 5 weight steers, $309 to $357. 5 to 6 weights, $239 to $348. 6 to 7 weights, $231 to $322. 7 to 8 weight steers, $215 to $290. 8 to 9 weight steers, $220 up to $265. On the heifers, Superior Livestock Week in the Rockies sale, 4 to 5 weight heifers, $259 to $334. 5 to 6 weights, $230 to $325. 6 to 7 weights, $230 up to $290. 7 to 8 weights, $215 up to $262. And the same roll for the 8 to 9 weights, $215 up to $262. Next week, we will recap the Western Video Market's Silver Legacy sale that took place in Reno, Nevada. If there's a sale you want me to look into and recap for you, fire us an email at ranchitupshow@gmail.com. Text us. Just send us a quick text. Let me know what the sale barn is. 707-726-2420. Now, speaking of sales, speaking of quality replacement heifers, you want the good kind, you want the southern kind. Let's hear from the Florida Cattlemen's Association Quality Replacement Heifer Sale.
This is Cracky Johnson with the Florida Cattlemen's Association. The 29th Annual FCA Quality Heifer Sale in memory of Bill Barthel, presented by Florida Heritage Beef. The sale is hosted by the Arcadia Stockyards in Arcadia, Florida, Friday, August 25th, and the first female will enter the ring at 1 o'clock. Consigners include Spur Landing Cattle, Longino Ranch, Kempfer Cattle Company, Cow Creek Cattle, Eagle Island Ranch, Mo Brangus, Laxey Cattle Company, Walpole Cattle Company, Williamson Cattle Company, Perry Cattle Ranch, Dixie Cattle Company, Dees Brothers, Philip Crawford, and many more. The sale boasts a great offering of Brangus, Beefmaster, Gertz, and other Brahma and Angus-influenced females and will include bred and open heifers. Buyers will have a chance to win the $1,000 bull credits from both R.A. Brown Ranches and Gene Plus. Also, there'll be a drawing for a spring gobbler hunt on Buck Island Ranch and a backpack from King Ranch Saddle Shop and many more. Sponsored by Florida Heritage Beef, Finco Farms, Datamars, and Gallagher. For more information, call Kevin Escobar at 813-629-8049 or Cracker Johnson at 352-535-5320 or look us up on Facebook, Florida Cattlemen Association Quality Heifer Sale. Thank you.
That's the FCA Quality Replacement Heifer Sale presented by Florida Heritage Beef. For more information, again, you can check them out on Facebook, the FCA Quality Replacement Heifer Sale. It's coming up Friday, August 25th. We'll have more information on that sale coming up in the next few months. Stick with us. We've got a lot more of the Ranch It Up radio show, including more details on how we can improve the cow herd, and at the same time, we're improving the next generation. This is a great inspirational story. We'll be back right after this. Pro Rodeo's top saddle bronc riders all in one location. It's rodeo time. The best of the best battle it out at the annual Home on the Range Champions Ride Saddle Bronc match August 5th at the Home on the Range in Sentinel Butte, North Dakota. Get your chance at some of the cash with the live Calcutta Friday, August 4th at the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame in Medora, North Dakota. Road trip. For more information and tickets, head to hotrnd.com. The Home on the Range Champions Ride Saddle Bronc match. We've talked about Pharmatan and its success over the past several years, usually encouraging you to feed it in the diet 90 days pre-calving. Now here's Paul Mitchell with how we're using Pharmatan both pre- and post-weaning in our calves.
A lot of guys are using the Pharmatan both for coccidia control and then excellent to help with that transition to solid feed and seeing their weights really hold up as they put cattle through their weaning ration and to a higher energy diet.
Head to ImageneIngredients.com. Everyone asks me, Tigger, where do you get your boots? What do you look for in boots? Well, for me, it's customer service and American-made boots and tack. Medora Boot and Western Wear takes care of everything I need. You can shop online at medoraboot.com or follow along Facebook and Instagram. Give Medora Boot and Western Wear a call and tell them Tigger sent you. Medora Boot and Western Wear, making boots great again. Hashtag Tigger approved. Cattle Battle. Welcome back to the Ranch It Up radio show, the most information packed into a 30-minute program that you can find anywhere. It's your all things ranching newscast, and so glad to be hanging out with you today. Questions, comments, concerns, criticisms, give us a shout, give us a call, or you can text us at 707-726-2420. That's 707-RANCH20. Or you can email us, ranchitupshow@gmail.com, prowling around social media at Ranch It Up Show. Now, a couple of weeks back, we told you about the Champions Ride Saddle Bronc match, which will be celebrating its 67th anniversary coming up in just a few weeks, the weekend of August 5th in Sentinel Butte, North Dakota. Yes, it's to bring together the best of the best from the Professional Rodeo Cowboys Association. And yes, please join us for this legendary event. We're going to be hanging out there. But why has it become so popular? This story goes much, much deeper beyond rodeo. It's all about the kids. It's all about the kids. It's about a facility that helps young people that need some encouragement, some guidance, that need a second chance. Now, today we visit with the Home on the Range in Sentinel Butte, North Dakota. It's a story of using livestock, cattle, ranching, farming, agriculture to give back to the next generation. Greg LaBelle is the facility ranch and plant director, along with being a residential director. Greg, this is great to have you introduce the program to all of us. A total feel-good story that uses, like I said, agriculture, cattle, embryo transfer, genetics, AI, you name it, to teach and to help rehabilitate youth that have had some trouble and some tough experiences. Now, let's start there by telling us just a little bit of the backstory on Home on the Range.
The purpose of Home on the Range, when it first started, it was an orphanage for kids back in the day when Father Cassidy started it. And it's grown into a treatment facility for juveniles, both boys and girls. They're adjudicated here by the courts to serve out, treatment The average stay right now is between 3 and 6 months for each child. When I first started back in the day, it was not uncommon to have a kid here for 2-3 years. But that has all changed with the federal government, and their goal is to get the kids back in the community quicker and services in the community.
So how did it turn into a working ranch?
Well, it's always been a working ranch. The farm was donated by the Levins family, and it was, they had the farm here, and the cattle have always been here. I've seen some pictures dated back to when they started with the Herefords, and way back in the day, and the kids working on horseback with them. And with the chickens, we've had the chickens, and then the dairy barn was built back in the 70s. It was one of the largest dairy barns in the state back then. It was one of the nicest dairy barns. The dairy barn went away back in the 80s during the buyout, and but we've always had cattle here. And we've tried our hand at different animals, but it doesn't seem to work as well as cattle.
Why is that? And when you say try your hand, is that helping, you're using the livestock, specifically the cattle in this case, as part of the rehabilitation process of troubled teens?
Yes, because I believe that animals are a huge part of a kid's life. Now, an animal is never judgmental towards a kid, will never, they're just there for you. The cattle depend on the kids to feed. I always believe that a busy mind will never get in trouble. So if you're busy working and you're busy with the animals and you're busy doing what you need to do, it's hard to get into trouble when you have that time.
Is it just because of the nature of the simplicity of cattle, maybe?
Well, that, and I think cattle is easier to work than any other livestock. I like cattle. The cattle have always been here. I've been here 33 years, and we've always had cattle. We've always had a beef herd.
And here's what is so interesting to me is it's not just a cattle ranch. This is a cutting-edge outfit. Y'all are using embryo transfer. You're putting in seeders. You're AI, and you're working with top herds in the country. This is a working facility providing surrogate mothers in the ET business, and you're helping out seed stock, helping out kids, helping out agriculture.
Right, exactly. What we do is we work with Jim and doing the ET cattle. We raise the calves out. We keep them all summer, and then the fall we wean them here. We feed them. We background them through January, and then Jim will take the bull crop and the heifer crop, and he will have his bull sale in March. And so a lot of our kids come from city backgrounds in North Dakota. When we do get a kid out here, they have no clue what a cow is. They haven't been around a farm or a ranch. So seeing some of the things that we do with the AI and the ET, because they help put in the seeders, they help with the shots. When the calves are born, they help with the vaccines, they help with the tagging. All parts of that, weighing each calf has to be weighed in. Like when the kids do come here, they've never been around them, never been part of them. They're scared at first. Just a quick story. I had this one girl, she came here first day. We calve everything in the barn. So we have to clean the barn every week. And we went in there towards the end of the week, and she says, I'm absolutely not cleaning that barn. I'm not going in there. It's disgusting. It stinks. By the time she left home on the range 8 months later, this is after calving and everything, I couldn't get her out of the barn. She just fell in love with working with the cows, seeing the babies being born, and mothering them. We tried to pick up bottle calves for the kids to feed, and it's amazing what a calf can do for a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And around the genetic part of it, and then the kids see the straws that are frozen, and they go down to a nets and see the process of gathering all the embryos and freezing them and flushing the cows. So we try to do all of that, and then prior to the bull sale, we try to go down and watch them do the ribeye area and ultrasound that. The kids are learning a lot.
Greg, now I have to bring this subject up because you're talking about working with cattle. You're talking about running them through the chute a number of times. You're talking about stockmanship and handling cattle and low stress and all that. Is it tough when you're dealing with a group of young people that have no experience in working livestock? Or is it actually just the opposite, that because they have no experience, they don't have any prior bad habits and you can teach them the proper way?
It depends on the group. And what's the fun part is you give them a problem. We need these cows to get through this chute. How are we going to do it? And you will have always, well, we're just going to push them in there and they're just going to go as fast as we can do this. It doesn't end up like that. And I says, one of my favorite things to say is a cow will never go where you're standing. So the process of teaching them to problem solve, and we got all day to do it. If we're working cows or calves, we got all day. And we take our time and we teach the kids how to do it and why it's important to do it that way.
So it's pretty obvious you said 30 plus years that you've been involved with Home on the Range in Sentinel Butte, North Dakota. It's more than just raising cows. It's more than just raising kids for you.
Oh, absolutely. It? Absolutely. And if I could make one point to anybody out there, it hasn't been a job. It's been 30 some years and it feels like I have been here 5 years. It's not a job. It's fun to come to work. Every day is different. Something happens differently. And you get to mold kids. You're around kids all the time. It's fun. One of the big things we're working on now is we're working on the rodeo arena. We're getting ready for the rodeo coming up the first Saturday in August. So we're down there prepping all the grounds and stuff like that. We're trying to finish the arena. Here in another week or two, we'll start putting up all the banners and working the grounds, getting everything ready to go.
And it's not just the community that comes out and supports the match Bronc ride. It's not just the region that comes out and supports the match Bronc ride. It is amazing. I mean, it's really the nation. There are people from all over that come to the facility, and I know it's from hearing this story that you and I are talking about and combining it with the story that we heard just a week or two ago from Gary, where we talked about the history behind the match Bronc ride. Yeah. There's so much to it, and it's such an incredible positive story of agriculture, of stockmanship, of being a good steward to the land, and ultimately about helping the next generation. Because as you know, that's one of the big topics is passing the legacy on to the next generation. And how do we do this? And how do we help this? And how do we tell the story? This is kind of amazing because all of those factors come into play at one location, and it's called Home on the Range.
My biggest thing, too, and it's the people that give to Home on the Range that make Home on the Range possible. You cannot thank the benefactors enough out there that have helped us get to where we are today. And we couldn't do it without them. We couldn't do it without the Jim Arthauds, the Brad Germansons, our rodeo committee, the people that constantly give all the time. And if anybody's driving by, don't be afraid to stop in and we'll show you around and we'll tell you what we do.
Greg, thanks so much. Greg LaBelle with Home on the Range. Really a wonderful story, and it's a celebration of agriculture, ranching, rodeo, helping kids. What more do y'all need? We've got you taken care of. Join us at the 67th Annual Champions Ride Saddle Bronc Match in Sentinel Butte, North Dakota, August 5th. Go to hotrnd.com to order your tickets, or you can check them out on Facebook, or head to our Facebook page. We will have the direct link there for your convenience. It's the Home on the Range Champions Ride Saddle Bronc Match in Sentinel Butte, North Dakota. Now, coming up, it's market recap time. Kirk has the numbers when we come back. The Ranch It Up radio show. It's all things ranching, cattle, cowboy, and markets, some history, lots of news and information, topics to help you put dollars back into your pocket. That's just a little bit of what you will hear each and every week, and we strive to bring you what you need. Now, if there is a subject that you want us to cover, a sale barn, say a producer you want us to talk to, get a hold of us anytime. Our email, ranchitupshow@gmail.com. Call or text us at 707-RANCH20. And remember, it's your program, not ours. It's called sustainability, and we all need it in the cow herd to remain profitable. Sustainability starts with the cow, and it's found in the maternal strength of Gelbvieh and Balancer females. It's hard to imagine, but weaning time will be here before you know it, and we're going to be faced with how are we going to replace those culled females, and what are we going to replace them with? Well, the answer is real simple. Create sustainability with Gelbvieh and Balancer females. Smart, reliable, profitable. EquineMarket.com puts you in control of buying and selling horses of all breeds and disciplines. The easy-to-use online platform at equinemarket.com offers private treaty sale, online auction, and live auction internet bidding. Horses never leave the farm until the buyer arrives, and because buyers connect directly with sellers, there's no middleman. Sell horses and hay on your terms today with equinemarket.com. Welcome back, everyone, to the Ranch It Up Radio Show. It's that time of day when we check in with Kirk Donsbach, Stone X Financial Incorporated. If you want to receive Kirk's free newsletter, just text the word cattle, CATTLE, to 33777. I highly advise and recommend that y'all do so. It is free. And, Kirk, I got to give you compliments on that newsletter. I've noticed a few of the changes that you've had with it. It's a lot easier to follow along. Not that it was hard to begin with, but I've noticed the changes and the updates you've done to it. Good job, and I think it's a great newsletter, and I encourage everyone to get it.
Well, thank you, Tigger. I really appreciate that. I do put quite a bit of pride and time and effort into that.
And you've made it easy to follow along. That's what I'm going to say. You've brought it out of the clouds, and you've made it, and you've applied some cowboy logic, I guess is what I'm saying, and made it easy to follow along. So I appreciate that. What is going on in the markets? What happened? Let's recap them.
All right, Tigger, as of Friday, July 14th, August feeders closed the week at $246.45. That's up $1.27.5 on the week, with the CME feeder index up $8.48 at $239.69. So a big move in cash this week. That leaves our basis a negative $6.96. That's still a little wide. Guess undecided if futures are going to go down or cash is going to continue to rally to it. August live cattle closed the week at $180.32.5. That's up $3.37.5 on the week, with cash trading $175 to $184 in the south. A little bit really wide and confusing trade in the south. The north traded later in the week at $184 to $186. That left our 5-area weighted average at $182.99. That's up $2.29 on the week, and the basis at a positive $2.81.5 versus August live futures. Weekly slaughter came in a little low at 633,000. That was up 94,000 from last week. Remember, that was July 4th week, and 40,000 below the same week last year. Choice boxes printed 305.94. Our listeners should take note of that number. That's down $10.96 on the week. To wrap it up, December corn closed the week at $5.14 1/4. That's up 17 3/4 cents on the week, picking up some support from the wheat and the soybean market.
Hey all, Mark Van Zee with equinemarket.com. Coming up this Wednesday, July 26th, we have our monthly online horse auction. Bidding opens at just $100, no reserve, all horses will sell. Featured lots include Raptor, a Palomino quarter horse gelding, 2017 mile. He's a stocky 15 hands, level-headed, safe horse. He rides light, balanced, and rhythmic from Equestrian Resolutions in New Summerfield, Texas. Streak, a liver chestnut quarter horse gelding, 2013 model, 15 hands high. He's a jack of all trades, trail rides, English, barrels, and you can swing a rope on him from Ricochet Stables in Athens, Texas. Wrangler, a buckskin quarter horse gelding, 2010 model, 15 hands high, sturdy as they come. He'll go all day on the trail. He's not spooky, and he stands from the farrier from Wagner Farms in Amherst, Virginia. Bella, a sooty Palomino Missouri foxtrotting mare. She's 2008, 14 hands high, good around ATVs, cars, gunfires, and other animals from Gold Rush Rescue in Leesville, Louisiana. Hazel, a bay quarter horse mare. She's a 2005 model, 14 hands. Broke but not fancy. She's safe for lessons, trail rides, and she's a good family horse from Ricochet Stables. Captain Barr, a bay AQHA gelding, 2012 model, 15 hands high. Solid foundation, but he's never been finished, from Ricochet Stables in Athens, Kentucky. Thrive, a bay quarter horse gelding, 2013 model, 17 hands high. Jockey Club registered. He's only got 11 starts. He's a descendant of Seattle's Blue and Secretary, very balanced and athletic, from Agugina Ranch in Dodge City, Kansas. Bidding opens at just $100, and it's currently live, but all horses will sell the morning of Wednesday, July 26th. Got a horse to sell? Regular online horse auctions, fourth Wednesday of every month on equinemarket.com and auctiontime.com.
I tip my hat to you, from one legend to another.
Our tip of the hat today goes to everyone that is Dealing with the heat. It has cranked itself up, and you might even say everyone is a little hot under the collar
now
these days.
Now listen to this. In Death Valley, California, here is the forecast for the next 8-9 days. You ready for this? A high of 124, 122, 120, 120, 123, 123, 121, and 121 with the lows not even below 90.
Yikes. So no matter where you are, East Coast, West Coast, North, South, we are riding right along with you, and we're all trying to stay cool.
And that's going to do it for today. A big thank you from our crew to yours. Greg LaBelle with the Home on the Range, Kirk Donsbach with StoneX Financial Incorporated, Mark Vanzie with Livestock Market and EquineMarket.com, and to you, the boss lady, Rebecca Warner, a.k.a. Beck.
As always, a big thank you to our partners, the American Galvay Association, the Tri-State Livestock News, the Farmer and Rancher Exchange, and the Fence Post. The 67th Annual Home on the Range Champions Ride Saddle Bronc Match, Westway Feed Products, Medora Boot and Western Wear, Dakota Cowboy, Allied Genetic Resources, LivestockMarket.com, EquineMarket.com, AuctionTime.com, the RFD TV, the Cowboy Channel, and Wrangler.
And crew, so glad y'all came with us one more time as we ranch it up. Be sure to follow and like us on Facebook at Ranch It Up Show. Go there anyway. Give us a like and a follow. We have updates multiple times throughout the week. You need to get a hold of us. You can email us, ranchitupshow@gmail.com. You can call and text 24/7. The phone number is 707-RANCH-20. That is 707-726-2420. Spread the good word and join us again next week where it's always Tigger approved.
Stay ranchy and ranch it up.